We tend to think of data as just raw, objective fact, right? Just pure numbers. But what if that's not really the whole story? What if behind every single spreadsheet, every algorithm, there's a hidden point of view, a bias we can't even see? Okay, let's get into it.
This right here is the core idea we're going to unpack. It's such a powerful way to put it because it means that data isn't something we just find out in the wild, like discovering a new planet. No, it's something we make. And anything we make, well, it's always going to have our fingerprints all over it. So, how in the world does this happen? How do our own perspectives get baked right into the numbers? Well, it all comes down to the choices we make way before a single byte of data is ever even collected. It all starts with decisions that seem almost trivial. First, we decide what's even important enough to measure in the first place. That's what we choose to label. Then, we have to decide how to define those labels. I mean, think about it. Is an online interaction a click, a view, or is it engagement? Each one tells a different story. And finally, maybe the most important choice of all is what we decide to just flat out ignore. Everything we don't count? Yeah, that's a choice too. A big one. And the consequences of these choices are absolutely profound. These are not just little technical details. They are the fundamental building blocks for what any system, especially in AI, is even capable of learning. These choices literally draw the boundaries of its world, defining what it can see and what remains totally invisible. But here's the thing. This whole process of defining reality, it isn't some one-time event. It's not like you set it and forget it. It's actually a constant, evolving conversation. Now, the fancy technical term for this is ontology. I know, it sounds super complicated, but don't let the word fool you. All it is really is a map of how we've decided to organize the world. It's just a system of boxes, categories, and the lines we draw between them. It's basically our shared agreement on what things are and how they all connect. So here's the crucial part. This map, this ontology, it isn't static. Not at all. It's more like a living system. It grows and evolves as people contribute new ideas. It gets sharper and more accurate when we make corrections and update our definitions. And over time, it solidifies through consensus, becoming this shared reflection of our human understanding at that specific moment in time. And this brings us to the most critical part of this whole discussion. What does all this actually mean in a world that is being run more and more by artificial intelligence? So on this slide, you can really see the fundamental gap. Over on one side, you have our truth. It's messy, it's dynamic, it's this living reflection of how we all see the world. But then, on the other side, you have what an AI learns. It doesn't get that messy living process. It just gets the final product, a static snapshot of our version of the truth, basically frozen in time from the data we decided to give it. Just let that sink in for a second. AI is an incredibly powerful mirror. It doesn't create truth out of thin air. It simply, and with terrifying precision, reflects the worldviews we've already encoded into its data. It inherits our choices, our priorities, and, yep, even our blind spots. So where does that leave us? It all leads to this one final and pretty profound revelation about what data really is, and how it's connected to something way more fundamental. See, when we decide what to label and how to categorize things and what relationships actually matter, we're not just organizing information that's out there in the world. We are literally building the structure for how to think about that world. The way we design our data becomes the way our systems, and by extension, us, think. It's nothing less than the blueprint for intelligence itself. And that leaves us with a huge, critical question. As we build more and more of our world on these data-driven systems, we have to stop and ask, whose worldview is buried in those numbers? Whose definitions of reality are we amplifying and scaling to the entire world? And whose are we leaving behind? Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me.